Okay, we're back. Layton has been turned into a golden statue by a witch. Maya looks like she might be framed. I'm scared of where this is going. Too many trials, too many things. Chapter 3 complete. Puzzles I missed. Alright, yeah. Maybe I'll do one episode after I'll beat the game and like try and do all the puzzles I missed, just so you can see. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Chapter 4, the Golden Court. It doesn't make sense. How has it come to this? The darn witch. Why did it have to happen to the professor of all people? You've got to believe me, Nick. I may be a spirit medium, but I'm no witch. Don't worry. I know it wasn't you. Say, have you seen Luke today? I haven't seen him since last night. He was crying all night. I didn't know what to say to him. No kidding. He's the one suffering the most from all of this. Poor kid. He probably needs some time alone with his grief. We should leave him be. Yeah, you shouldn't have to see this trial. It'd be too hard for him. Oh, it's Espella. What are you doing here, Espella? Yeah, wrong words. What are you doing here, Espella? Have you been cleared of the accusations? No, not yet. If only it was that easy. It's just that I'm not technically under arrest, so I got special permission to come here. I'm free to go wherever I like within this building. I see. I heard about Mr. Layton. It's awful. He was such a good man. I'm sorry, Espella. Huh? What are you apologizing for? We were supposed to find clues connected to Bazala, but we couldn't find anything, and now the professor's been... No, don't say that. It's not your fault. Man, though, his arm broke off. Can they repair an arm? And I don't believe a word of what they say about Maya. She isn't a witch. Thank you, Espella. Mr. Wright, do you mind if I assist you in court today? Huh? I know I may not be of much use, but I'll do what I can. I want to help you and Maya. Espella. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're Grey Earl, butler of the late Master Belgic. I've come to inquire after Miss Maya. It is most regrettable what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. You look really pale, Jean. Are you alright? Oh, please, don't worry about me. It's merely that, since the incident, sleep has eluded me. Oh, I spent the night searching through Master's notes on alchemy. I hope there may be some mention of a method by which something turned to gold may be reverted back to its original form. You were looking for a way to rescue the professor? Human fate is often cruel. That's also why we must never lose our hope. Jean. Defender, accused. The trial is about to start. Proceed to the chamber. Yes, we're coming. Nick. Cheer up, Maya. I'm not just going to let them sentence you. I just wish all this would stop already. Whether someone's witch or not. No one deserves to be burned. I know. I can't stand for it either. If you'll kindly excuse me now, I must return to my duties. No problem. We appreciate you coming to see us. Something's bothering me. Jean seems somewhat odd today. Let's go, Mr. Wright. The trial is about to begin. Maya's on trial. This is not cool. This is not cool. No, Maya! Maya! I'm not gonna let them take her.
The trial of Maya Fey shall now begin, as scheduled. Knights of the court, Are you ready to cross your swords of justice?
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum always has his sword ready for the work of justice.
Defense ready, Your Honor. At this stage, I just gotta give it all I've got.
It would appear the defender has thrown down the gauntlet, Sir Barnum. Now, before we begin, may I have a word with you, defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last time we met, you stood in this court as an apprentice baker. In all honesty, when I saw you for the first time, I thought to myself, a baker should stick to bread baking.
Is that so? What a fine first impression I made.
However, today you are not merely some befuddled maker of sweet buns. I'm obliged to fully recognize you as a knight of law and justice, on par with Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Ooh, thank you. Barnum's like, bitch. I'm sorry.
Now may your duel
That's
begin.
video,
Fight bravely and expose the truth behind this heinous crime.
All right! We're all counting on you,
go.
Inquisitor Barnum!
I knew she was a witch as soon as I laid my eyes on her. She's got witch written all over her. Why not put the baker on trial? Bake the baker, I say!
I hate this crowd so much.
They treat him like some sort of celebrity.
He may be adored by the crowds, but when he pointed his sword my way, you managed to shield me from his accusations. Maya clearly isn't a witch, so surely your victory is certain.
Thank you for believing in me, Espella.
Espella Cantabella. I have given you leave to come to this trial today. However, that does not mean that the charges against you have been dropped. Rather than worry about others, you should consider your own situation.
Thank you for granting me your permission, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. As usual, let us commence this trial by first recounting the events, if it pleases you, Sir Blue Knight. As, you wish, Inquisitor. I still can't get used to this terminology. This heinous crime occurred in the residence of the late Newton Belduke, the alchemist. Here's the sketched plan of his residence. This room of a somewhat questionable nature is the alchemist's study, in which the incident took place. The only ones present at the moment of the crime were the accused and the victim, no one else. The witnesses who arrived at the scene seconds later have indicated where they found the accused and the victim. Very well, the sketch is accepted as evidence. The accused took Sir Layton's life with the most cruel of magic. A living man 1 second, a golden statue the next. Such wickedness. Magic that turns things into gold? Sure, why not? Several townspeople rushed to the room and paid witness to the horror of this magic. The accused has been captured and charged. Goodness, that is terrifying. Rumors have reached me that the victim was a most scintillating man. I'm not quite certain whether it was prior to or after, but incidentally, was this Sir Layton not the same hat maker who attended our previous trial? No, he wasn't a hat maker. Bizarre as it is. Sir Layton's profession and origin remain unknown. He was a stranger in this city. That is all we know. And you, sir, his acquaintance. You're an unusual presence in our city yourself. Today's case certainly is peculiar. And that is not the last of the peculiarities, my lord. The alchemist's study has been the scene of another strange incident in the past. Ah yes, I remember. It as if it were yesterday. The mysterious death of Newton Belduke himself. Indeed, my lord. Regrettably, the only case of witchcraft still to remain unsolved in our fair city. The witch may have escaped her punishment back then. But perhaps today is the day on which both these mysterious crimes shall be solved. What? What are you implying? He's not saying that she... Patience. You will know soon enough, Sir Suddenly Pale Blue Knight. He is not saying Maya killed Beldic. How interesting. Seems that the Inquisition has something up their sleeve. Now, Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. Thank you, my lord. The Inquisition summons the witnesses to this malicious crime of witchcraft. If only I had made it to the room sooner. Maybe I could have prevented all this from happening. I won't let Maya take the rap for this. I'll find every single crack in their testimony and prove it wasn't her. So, another group of witnesses. Welcome to the Witch's Court, honorable witnesses. I'm gonna save it before we do this. Save. Yeah, boom. Now, let us hear your names and occupations. What? What the frick is... I'm known far and wide as Amir Punchbog. I soon to be the new head of Punchbog's retail organization, Pro. Why is he like so what? I like how he was just like shrouded behind the minstrel people when he was nowhere in sight. Hang on! Be there. But wait a minute, witness. What's that, Blue Squire? You're that guy from the previous trial. Just what the heck's happened to you? You look like you've been on one of those ultimate makeover shows. Whatever do you mean? My name is Amir Punchbog. I soon to be the head of Punchbog's retail organization. Bro, what is the meaning of this, Inquisitor? I do not care to delve into this witness's personal affairs. Looks like he remembers him all too well. Witnesses, pray continue. Why is he putting like some sort of poison in his drink? Oh, dearie me. It is I who usually ask the questions. I am, you see, but a humble teacher. Call me Miss Princeton. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths about this world from me. An elementary school teacher, huh? Good to know at least one witness seems sensible. His face, though. The winds carry my song, it's birdly stringing along, parrot and bard ensemble avant-garde. My faithful muse here is Cracker, the musical parrot. No one understands music like Cracker aside from me, naturally. At least it's not another goat. What a smart bird. He just imitated the teacher perfectly. Luke! Luke! I'm Luke Triton. My occupation is the professor's apprentice. Luke. Luke, why? What are you doing there? I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth. But Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witness stand. I'll never forgive that witch. Really, Luke? A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face. But Luke, your friend today can be your enemy tomorrow. Such is the hard reality of the battlefield. Witnesses, we will now hear your testimony. Tell us all of this wicked incident, which you have been unfortunate enough to witness. Oh, Luke. So this is gonna set them against us, sorta. This is not cool. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Mayhap something caused discord between our erstwhile friends. Mr. Silkhead had a knife at the ready in his hand. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for, I heard the staff fall on the floor. The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. I see. Thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer. Singer? Could you possibly mean me, Birdly the Bard, your excellence? Yes, that would be you, singer. The staff that you said, slung about. It is as you suspect, my lord. This very witch's scepter. There are 2 different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used 2 types of magic. Yeah, it would seem so. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell, Goldor. From Power Rangers now. Goldor. Just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. That's the one, alright. That's the dreadful incantation that I am mere punching bog. I also heard. Oh, dearie me. I have seen that scepter, so I have. Clank tips over the golden man. The scepter falls, not the witch's plan. Oh, dearie me. How dare she do that to the professor? By the way, this witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketched plans, it was located right here. A scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. You're on edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you had better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence. I gotta think straight. Thank you, my lord. Goldor, but what's the purple one? Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you something? What is it now, Sir Blue Knight? We know that one of the gems is for the spell Goldor, but what about the other one? A naive question, huh? Naivety may be no hindrance to a baker who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in court. Would a knight put a weapon in his enemy's hands? He's telling me to do my own for me. Okay, I will do so. Or I can't. Okay, never mind. Mr. Wright, I'll look for information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Spella. That would be great. Just leave it to me. She seems very happy to help. The defender may interrogate the witness. Sizz. Cross-examination. I heard a scream and an incantation.
Hold it!
And, what is all this about exactly? What do you mean, Blue Squire? Your gaudy, colorful outfit. I mean, your attire was different last time, a little more modest. The Amir you knew back then is no more. I'm a new man, now reborn into the higher echelons of society. Gulp, 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 gulp. What's he drinking? There's a skull and crossbones marked on that bottle. Enough idle chatter. The witness heard a scream, an incantation, is that correct? That's right. It's just like what you said earlier, Inquisitor Barnum. It was the spell Goldor, and it was without doubt the voice of the accused that said it. However, it's rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, they seemed to be on friendly terms. The next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silkhat had a knife at the ready in his hand.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think they quarreled? The other day I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with... Now, everyone listen carefully. No chatting in the back now. What I say now will be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People would not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. The kids in our class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh, dearie me, what I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silkhat was pointing that glittering knife ever so threateningly.
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke? No, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman, and no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. I couldn't agree more. Silly boy. I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I'm a liar? You cheeky little whippersnapper. The professor would never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright. What is it? I think there was some important information in Miss Primstone's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say things like that. I didn't notice anything. What could that be? What was Espella about to say? Speak out, Espella. Espella, why don't you tell us all what you've noticed? Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Primstone about. Just go ahead and ask her. Excuse me, Miss Primstone. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you, Miss Espella Cantabella. Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did. As a matter of fact, yes, I remember that glinting blade very well. A most frightening sight it was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if we look at the sketch... When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? That must have been the case, otherwise the witness would not have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? The direction the professor was facing. That could be important. This information shall be added to the court record. I'm sorry, I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help. Not at all, Espella. We were able to get some more info, which may just come in handy. You think so? Now then, the next witness shall continue with the testimony. Victim of magic, sparkly and done, for I heard the staff fall on the floor. Would you mind describing what you saw without saying anything about it? As you wish, my musically impaired friend. Simply put, when I entered the room, the victim was worth his weight in gold for obvious reasons. He tipped over and fell heavily onto the floor. The room became dearly silent. And then I heard that scepter tumbling across the floor. What do you have to say?
Hang on!
May I ask you something, Miss Primstone? Dearie, dearie me, oh dearie me. My dear, do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class. Miss Primstone, did you see the witch's scepter at the crime scene? Well, about that, I must confess I do not clearly recall. You don't remember? When I went into the room, the golden man fell down and made quite the ruckus. That is why I did not notice the scepter being dropped. So you didn't see it after all. But I am certain that witch girl had it. She must have been hiding it behind her.
Objection!
Please don't assume Maya is a witch just because she's been accused. Miss Primstone is certainly quick to make assumptions. I see. Now we would like to hear the next witness's testimony. This next witness is a bit problematic. Because it's Luke.
Hold it!
Luke, open your eyes. Maya isn't a witch. Ever since we came to this town, lots of unbelievable things have happened. And that's why, from now on, I'll only believe what I see with my own eyes. Luke, when I went into that room, the only people I saw were the professor and Maya. The professor had been turned to gold and Maya dropped that scepter. That's not true. What? Maya, I didn't have any scepter, and we weren't the only ones in that... Silence! The accused has no right to speak. Be silent, or you will face punishment. We can end this trial immediately, should you decide you feel talkative again. I'm sorry. Well, Luke, is that really the truth? Huh? Did you really see the scepter? I don't know. When the professor turned to gold and collapsed right in front of me, everything seemed to fade to black. And then I could have sworn I at least heard Maya drop the scepter. The scepter was found at the scene of the crime. That is the unavoidable truth. Only the accused could have dropped it. That's not true. And the professor's direction is gonna help me, I think, find something. This isn't looking good. I feel so sorry for Luke. He's so full of anger and despair that he can't think clearly. He said he can't forgive the witch. I understand how he feels. Anyway, I need to find a way to calm Luke down first of all. Something to calm him down. Because it'd make no sense that he'd be pointing a knife at her.
Objection!
Does that not work? Ah, what the heck? If he was in that direction, how would he be pointing a knife at her? Sorry. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. It's fine, it's fine.
Objection!
This goes for him. That's what it is. Luke, you said that you only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth. Huh? What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Meyer were standing here. Now we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh! You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There's a contradiction in your testimony. That...
Objection!
Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room. One was a victim, thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. She told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone threatening her. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then who was he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh, dear, you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders. Inquisitor Barnum. Yes, my lord. It should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had enough. After all, that sparkling golden body of his has been found at the scene, has it not? Indeed, it has, my lord. Court attendant, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. It seems like they're going to bring the golden statue. But, Professor... Did they piece his arm back on at least? Nope. He lost his arm. Look at that. Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor! Dang. So this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. Looks like work of the finest artisan. I assure you, it is the work of no artisan, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. But it was... what? I can't believe this, Professor. Suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. The poor professor, who, while searching for evidence, became evidence. Golden Layton. Dang. This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. Maya, the professor didn't have a knife, and also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too. Please believe me. Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone. That person wasn't Maya. Sir Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise, huh? You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court, other than you, knows what Sir Hat was pointing at. What? Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I am your punching bug. The first, love me some gossip and stories of the occult. Elusive like mist, the magical beast, its chilling breath brings about death. Oh, dearie me. You could use some education, Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap. If the professor wasn't confronting Maya... Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. The truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. The same magic trick was used? They're referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduc, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. He had locked himself in his study, and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilled all over the floor. Powdered medicine. Sir Belduc was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained, yet they were not. That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Thus, there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduc's death: the culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it couldn't have been the Demir magic that was used in my case the other day. It seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduc, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought to this court. We will have justice. But what? No way. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too. We weren't even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two...
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even... Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. Alright. talking about Mr. Belduke's murder, which took place in a locked room. Yeah, a real shocker, right? Everyone was talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know, you're thinking it too, I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Ain't it clear as day? He was an alchemist. An alchemist is alchemy. It's just like magic, ain't it? Sir Belduke was a man. Only a woman can be a witch. What's more, witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different, somehow. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature. So it is said. Well, that sounds a lot like magic to me. Alchemy is incomprehensible to regular people. And you know, a couple days before the witch got him, there was that lightning that struck. Lightning? Glad you're asking, because I like telling that one. All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, there was this bolt from the sky. Only it wasn't blue. The sky lit up and turned blood red, and then out of nowhere an old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty powerful stuff, eh? You have strayed off the topic at hand, witness. This is a courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later.
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on this, Miss Primstone? You could say I'm a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air, and vanished after making the kill. Indeed, yes. The witch's scepter confirms my theory. A brilliant deduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Primstone. She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. Our occult crime analysis have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia. Familia? What does it do? The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. There are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar too? It was a familiar that took Sir Belduke's life. Now it has appeared again. Sir Silkhead was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. What good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch, and promptly vanished, thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduke and Sir Silkhead were both killed by the same witch. Bah! What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected. Due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Oh, deedy me. I was right as always. This gruesome murder will be the next exam. Make sure to take notes. I shall divulge what really happened. We're all ears, Miss Primstone.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar? Oh, deedy me. No, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally.
Hang on!
Is Is everything alright, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something. No, it's not right at all. Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony that you'd like to comment on? That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Deedee me, what an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there's no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not. A mere detail matters not. Oh my, anyhow, I wonder where could that missing arm be? Yeah, that ought to be looked into. Wait, what? Something's going on here?
Hang on!
What do you got to say? Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Mr. Amir! It's Mr. Amir Punchingbog. The first to you, Bluey. The likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man of wealth such as me. You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleed and please. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I don't know about that golden bloke's right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright? What is it, Isabella? I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks suspicious? It's not just you. Everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double-check my pockets. Mr. Amir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? I told you, I know nothing. Nada. Zero. Nil. I ain't seen it or heard about it. Or put it in me pocket. Put it in your pocket. It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection! Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You
pawned
tried
it.
to deceive me!
Right? He might have pawned it. The pawnbroker. Order! Order! Who is that person? Well, you want to know who I am? I'm Price the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you, on the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. He waltzed up to me saying he got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust. I think I know where this is going. That work of art, could it be? I've got it right here. The arm. Just like I thought. That's... Oh my. Professor! It's the professor's arm! It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow, or something like that. I've never seen a piece of gold so fine before. It's so suspecting nothing. I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less? You saw a monster. You're as bad as the witch's familiar yourself. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know it was his arm. I swear, when I saw it, I was already like that. What do you mean? I was last to the scene, and it caught my eyes right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought it looked like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it. You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of a sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now. Darn it, I can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Amir Punchingbog's motto. Wow. Got the professor on my side. In spirit. Where were we now? Oh yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Oh, deity me. It seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to the witness's testimony, that was the case, yes. Well, then I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed. The victim's finger has a glint to it, resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity. It's enough to send a shiver down the spine. If anyone could repeat it. No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. I guess no one remembers that. I'm known for pointing like that, too. I know, right? It's so sad. I'm sorry. Wright doesn't get a lot of appreciation in this game. I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. She's just taking pity on me. Is that all you had to say, Blue Knight? Huh? As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You better apologize to me now. Badgering me for no reason like that. Is that all there is to it? Or could that arm hold some other clues? We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Amir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm? Where was it lying? You found the arm on the floor pointing upward, you said. Yeah, I did. Finders keepers, I say. It was pointing straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that well. It was right there. Yes. That's where you would expect it to have fallen. Now, if that's where it was, then something's definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere? This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important. Namely, the key to solving this case. Well, Defender, do you see any problem in the location marked in the sketch? Yeah? Of course there's a problem. Psh, and where would that be precisely? The professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us this so-called contradiction? What contradiction does the victim's arm create? It's pointing like up this way. Like upward. What contradiction does it create? Where was the door at? This is the door that they go in. What contradiction does it create? She was against this wall, really like in this direction, pretty much. He was pointing toward that. He fell over. When we entered, he fell over this way. His finger pointing upward to the study, right? Right?
Got it!
No? Oops. Which contradiction does the victim's arm create? The staff? staff, maybe?
Got it!
Yeah, the staff. The contradiction is right here. And this is the Witch's Scepter. Let's go over the order of events, as per the witness's testimony. First, the witch cast a spell on the professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, that golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses agree with this order of events. Okay. That's right, they all agree. That's how it happened. But then there's the arm. I'm saving it, because I missed 2. It's not cool. I don't want to miss 2. I can't miss more. I don't want to miss more. I gotta be sharper.